Hey everyone, Zach here. We had some issues recording the audio for both Jeff and myself during the making of this episode. I did my best during the editing process to kind of fix that, but if it doesn't come across that well, I'm sorry ahead of time. Regardless, I hope you enjoy this episode of Call of Cthulhu Apocalypse Now. Bienvenue, patrons of the Nothing Venture Nothing Game to podcast. Tonight, I, Zach, will be your keeper of sanity as we delve into the madness in our game of modern-day Call of Cthulhu. Before we introduce our intrepid and unlucky investigators of this maniacal mystery, I would just like to note that during this series, things will get dark and gruesome. So if you're not a fan of that, there's no shame in turning these episodes off, watching something fun and lighthearted instead. Still here? Good. So if you're ready, then let's begin this series of unfortunate events. Joining me tonight for the continuation of our story is Jeff.
Hello everyone, this is Jeff. I am playing Hank Ricci, a driver from Brooklyn.
So, since it has been a minute, why don't I remind you of what happened last time? After bringing the Brooklyn Borough President to a special meeting in the city to meet with the newly elected President of the United States, a riot broke out between the police, who were there to protect the civilians in attendance, and the civilians themselves. As shots were fired, bottles flew, and tear gas filled the air, the President and all high-profile individuals of the city were evacuated, and you left with your charges. As the city lights and burger joints flashed by, your car sped out of the city and left the grisly scene behind. Now, I would like to start out the best way possible, if you wouldn't mind rolling will for me.
Will?
Yes.
24.
All right, and that's under your willpower score?
Way under, yes. It's better than half.
So, as the city lights and burger joints flashed by, your car sped out of the city and left the grisly scene behind. And then your eyes flash open. You're in your bed, with light pouring in through the blinds. There's a cold sweat still clinging to your face. You realize that the events you remember so vividly to be a dream. Why would the President of the United States go on a tour of the country to take care of things like infrastructure and pandemic response when anything could easily be handled over a video conference call? It just doesn't make any sense. For this, your sanity is fully restored.
Oh, very nice.
But like I said, you woke up in this cold sweat. The past few months you have had trouble sleeping. You've had these strange dreams every night. And this one is kind of on the normaler side, but still strange. So you're a little uneasy as you begin your day. So, Henry, how you doing?
Things have just been seemingly getting crazier and crazier. I don't really know exactly what's going on, but I know I don't like it. There was shooting in the city, and, I sort of went into crazy mode, and I was like, okay, and then the borough president called me, and he's like, can you pick me up? I was like, I'll drive around the block. And I took the long way home to avoid any of the emergency vehicles and police from getting through to the scene. So I figured that might just be better for everybody. I don't know. I just not sleeping very well, and I'm just tired.
Right. Well, as your doctor, I do have to remind you that it was a dream. The President of the United States never made a visit to the city. There's a lot going on. We are still in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, so I dreamt all of that, essentially.
Yes, I mean, Mr. Ricci, you've been coming to see me since October, and you've complained about strange dreams and everything. This is definitely the wildest one. Are you doing okay?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm just, I don't know. Things are just, I don't know. Sometimes I'm seeing things I'm not quite seeing. Then this insanely vivid dream about this shooting and stuff at City Hall. I mean, I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. I haven't quite figured it out, but I don't know. I always used to like to think of dreams as like, almost like a brain enema, like all the things that go through your head and your body sort of flushing it out in a dream form. I don't know, but things just seem very vivid and lucid and just a little bit crazy. Not that I would say that I'm crazy. I'm seeing crazy things or experiencing crazy things.
I see. Well, the first step to healing in any capacity is coming to terms with whatever started these strange dreams, any anxiety or...
Well, I mean, clearly the things that I spoke about, concerning the events at the hospital.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you probably went home and started saying this guy's Fruit Loops or something over here. I don't know who else you hear these kind of things from, but especially after seeing what happened to poor Officer Johannes, that really kind of messed me up pretty bad.
So, have any of the police come to talk to you since then?
Well, I went in for questioning when they were trying to find out what happened to Officer Johannes. I would do anything to help, poor Officer Johannes. I mean, he pretty much gave his life to protect us and save us. I mean, like I said, I presented it as a hypothetical to the police because, who in God's name is going to believe that? It just sounds, like something from a movie or a book or something that you read. But as my doctor, I'm telling you because, who else am I going to tell?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little crazy, but I don't know. Very, very odd.
No, I believe that you had a tough time that night, and it doesn't come easy moving on from traumatic experiences. But, maybe the dreams are trying to help you find a way to move on. Have you ever seen any of the other people that you spoke to that night? I do remember you telling me long ago that you were with some people when everything happened.
Yes, I haven't really been around them since that day. I mean, we all come from different walks of life. I mean, for me, it was just a fair that I had that day, and things got crazy. I mean, we shared an experience, but everybody has their lives to live. So I haven't really spoken to any of them or really seen anyone at great length. When I went to the police station, there was nobody there with me, just the officers and stuff. So I just, I said I was still, even though it was months after the hospital, it was still a lot of shock. Like I said, who would believe that story? So, I sort of presented a fantasy type scenario that, that's what I saw. I don't know what everybody else saw, but I know that's what I saw. And it seemed like everybody else was having the same experience that I was having. I mean, we all saw what happened to the officer and to everybody else, and yeah, like I said, I'm not surprised that nobody believes it, but I have no idea what anybody else mentioned to the cops. I have no idea. I just figured, let me be as honest as I could without being completely nuts in their eyes. I mean, I don't know how well I succeeded on that point, but I don't know. It's just one of those things, like no one's going to believe a story like that. So, you got to kind of have to live with it.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. Well, the best we can do is hope that, you're able to sleep soon enough and soundly, Sounds like these dreams are occurring more and more.
It certainly seems that way. I mean, there's nothing that really beats a good night's sleep.
Now, you said you keep seeing things. What exactly are you referring to? I gotta check every now and again.
I mean, just sort of the dreams that I had and what I saw that night. I guess it just sort of reoccurs. Like I think when when I'm out and about, I don't really see anything like recently. But I said the dreams are still there, and I guess it just manifests itself differently, and maybe that's what I'm seeing. If I'm sort of seeing internally rather than externally.
Do me a favor, Jeff. Roll a spot hidden check for me as you're looking into your computer monitor.
Ooh, 21.
As Hank is staring into this computer monitor talking to a therapist, just someone that anyone who would listen, Out of the blurry corner of your eye, you thought you saw something in your room move. Something that doesn't usually move, Maybe it was like a book or something that you placed on the table on the other side of the room, or
Right.
maybe it was something else.
Right. So I kind of like, how like when you think you see something, you sort of like jerk your head towards it. So I'm just kind of like sort of turn my head like quickly at what I think I saw moving.
There's nothing there. You scan the area, and soon, you get those like goosebumps on the back of your neck.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling you have when it feels like someone or something is watching you, and not someone or something that you know of,
Right. It's like, whoosh, just got like the chills here. Thought I saw something over there, but I don't know. It's probably just a shadow from outside, maybe, or I don't know.
It could just be the lights coming in from the window playing tricks on you. There's a logical explanation for everything that's going on, and we're gonna figure it out together. We've been working on it, It's been nice hearing all your stories the past few months, from that night to beyond that to before that. You've led quite the life. An interesting life, I should say.
Yeah, as a driver, you hear things, you pick up things, you make connections, sometimes weird, sometimes otherwise. Yeah, I've seen some things, and lately I've been seeing some things that I don't really like seeing in my brain.
Yeah.
But like I said, that night at the hospital was very traumatic, and I talked to some people about it, close people. I spoke to Mr. Randazzo. He's a family friend.
Mm-hmm.
He always has, from the old country. He always talks about some of these things, that you hear, this La Strega stuff, and witches come for your kids and stuff like that. Like old wives' tales and old, what do you call it? Old fables and stuff.
That's true. I didn't think about that. They only call them folklore fables because it was essentially passed down through word of mouth. A region kind of just develops this culture eventually where it's built around a myth, a legend. Someone just walked into town one day and changed the whole history of an area. A terrible event like a wolf killing some kids in a field makes people think that werewolves are real and sends a country into panic. The witch hunts were a thing, because people were scared. And that's where the blending of fable and folklore kind of meet with reality, is that fear. Fear kind of makes everything more real in that regard.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm afraid of that man in yellow that I saw on top of that building.
Yeah, he does sound terrifying. He does. But, all right, listen.
Can I ask you an odd sort of question? It actually has sort of nothing to do with what's going on with me personally, but as a therapist, I was wondering if you have any connections to the doctor that we were with that day, Dr. Warber.
Yeah, Warber. I've seen her at a few conferences,
Right. I was like, I don't know how much, you all communicate with each other as, doctors and stuff.
Well, I mean, we are all on the same network. I mean, you came to me, I looked her up after you told me her name, and yes, she is local, and that's the whole thing. It's like I have seen her, I've heard of her. Have I met with her personally? No. No, I haven't.
Oh, I was going to say, if you see her, if you could give her a message to, I'm just, to ask her how she's doing. You had a rough go of it that night. And, I figured just since I haven't seen her, I figured maybe if you have a circle where you communicate, just let her know that I'm hope that she's doing okay. I know things were, I said, I don't know what she's revealed to anybody about that night. Obviously this stays between you and me, as doctor patient. And, but I was going to say, if you could just tell her I said hello and I hope she's doing okay.
Yes, no.
She had a rough go of it that night.
Yeah, no, I can definitely reach out to her, on your behalf, just checking in and seeing if she needs to talk to anyone.
Yeah, that would be nice just to, like I really have no idea how to get a hold of any of the other people that were there, but, I figured,
You know what? Let me figure it out. Let me see what I can do, and I'll get back to you about it, okay? I'm pretty sure I can send you her office's email address, phone number for the office, That way you can get in touch with her in some capacity.
All right, yeah, I just don't want to come off as creepy. I'm just concerned that, like I said, we all had a very, very bad experience that we all had together. So like I said, I'm just sort of concerned that, everybody else is doing okay. I said, I haven't seen anybody or spoken to anybody. So, it's kind of hard when you and a few other people share an experience and, you never see each other again. So it's just really, like there's only 3 other people that know what I know, so, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I'm just concerned, especially for the doctor. I know the doctor had a rough day because that poor guy was her patient too. And, you know what it's like to have patients that, something a little wild has happened to.
Yeah, and it's definitely been a lot more recently, not really breaking any confidentiality things here. Is like there are a lot more people who aren't dealing with the current situation that great and remembering, to just sit back, find something that relaxes you in any capacity, even for 5 minutes. Take that 5 minutes. Be kind to yourself, just.
I always wanted to try that meditation stuff. It always looks so peaceful, and I always look at these people. I'm like, wow, like they're just like so calm. Like, how do these people like just do that? Like, I don't get calm like that sometimes.
I have to tell you, that is a skill that I have not been able to master.
I don't know, like I always see them, sitting around, and I don't know, it just looks very peaceful to me. And sometimes I would like a little peace in my life like that.
Yes. All right. Well, I have to get going. It was good catching up with you again this week. Just remember, keep getting on. Just it'll go away eventually. Just I'll get you Dr. Warbur's number. That way you can reach out. Maybe with her help, you can kind of get past this. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate all your help, Doctor. I appreciate your time.
And with that, the call goes black. So it's early on a Tuesday morning. The sun's out.
I guess, you know what? If I'm sitting in front of the computer, I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to just sort of maybe check a few things about, like, maybe meditations or guided meditations or something like that. Maybe I can find something that'll help me relax. I'll just sort of Google stuff. And
All right.
am I allowed to say Google?
Yes, I don't
Okay.
think it's. No, unfortunately, we had to say Bing.
Yeah, right. Whatever it is.
You're only allowed to Bing things here.
Yes. I will search engine stuff.
Yeah, no, that's easily something you can do. Just do me a favor, and I think there's a computer use.
All right, now, if I don't have that, I use the percentage on the side of it.
Yes, I know it's a low percentage, so just roll and we'll see what you get.
I mean, I think that's more for like IT people rather than somebody who's just searching for something. But I'll roll whatever we roll we got.
It's mostly to see like how productive it is and how long you end up spending.
I rolled very well. I rolled a 13.
Hey, so after this meeting with your therapist, you kind of spend the next couple hours just kind of going through the internet, looking at all these different meditation techniques, taking notes on whatever you need to, downloading a video or two that might help, that's guided. Use it to maybe try and fall asleep. And, after a couple hours go by, you find yourself starting to, one, get a little sleepy after staring at the computer screen for so long and all these calm speaking people. But, in order to try and like get your mind off of that right now, you're just looking around. You ought to get put myself to sleep. And you find yourself searching through the back annals of the internet about folklore again, because your therapist kind of brought up this like thought,
Yeah, I sort of rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes, just rabbit hole. And like even your close family friend, Mr. Rendazzo did the same thing. Just start talking about all this stuff from the old country of what it could have been that you saw. What do you search for in this rabbit hole?
Like as far as sort of like the weirder stuff.
Yeah.
Like a mythical man in yellow with dogs.
As you're typing in the search bar man in yellow, you get a weird number of results. I mean, you get results. It is Google. Google goes on forever.
Right, like man in yellow, folklore, stuff like all as like one search.
Yes. The things you find are vast. It's weird. There's a lot of folklore on this particular kind of entry, kind of being, And whenever it kind of, I guess, like, and every time you go down and down the page, it kind of feels like as you're looking at all the information on this mythical man in yellow, it seems kind of like you're doom scrolling, which is a term for like Facebook or Twitter when you just constantly go down and down and down a page. Just keep going down and down. It seems like this one page you clicked on, it's just, there's no bottom. Everything just keeps going down, and it's a forum, like a live forum of people who have claimed over the years to have seen a man in yellow, and it's always heralded by disaster, is this man in yellow.
So that's the main theme of all the results from these other people. Okay.
Yeah. And people some people on the forums will say, oh, no, what you're thinking of is the Mothman, and then other people will be like, no, it's true, I've seen it myself. Every once in a while, you'll see something about dogs, but nothing really,
Do I see any comparisons with like Man in Yellow and Sandman, because that was a name that repeated in the dream that I had.
Yes, actually. So, as you're scrolling down, doom scrolling through this forum,
And also, I'm looking to see if they name the Man in Yellow, if he has a name or something they refer to him as.
for that, I want you to roll me luck.
Oh, there's luck. Yes. Okay. Oh, I got a lot of luck.
Nice.
Ooh, man, another low roll. It's 10 on the tens die. 14, and that's less than a fifth of the score. So I guess
Nice.
that sort of enhances my successes.
That's good. That's really good. So, as I was saying, going down this forum, you see constantly these people talking about the man in yellow. And then you start seeing, like I said, you start seeing sometimes it's talked about how he's heralded by disaster and he brings dogs of war with him, and then it's somewhere down the line someone where it says someone like a random username on the forum.
Right. Somebody just put an entry in there, like happy guy 420 or something
Yeah,
silly
just a
like that.
random name. No, it's Son of Sephiroth XX13, like something dumb like that. Someone
Gotcha.
trying to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
dark and broody. They say, I read somewhere that there was a tribe in East Africa who, when you translate the name that they gave him, it comes out to the king wreathed in gold.
Are there any depictions, any
Um,
artist renderings, or
No, no one really draws any images or posts any images. Kind of like with the Slender Man scare so many years ago, is like people believed that even the image of this thing brought them to you. So if you happened to see them for a moment, it possibly wasn't that big of a deal. But if you like drew a picture of him or really like focused on him, he would be drawn to you in a capacity. All these nuts on the forums keep like barking about that.
I don't want them. I don't want to bring them to my house.
Now, when you get towards the bottom of the forum, and this is like going back, like you ended up going back in this thing, doom scrolling all the way to like maybe a few years ago. Like this is going back like a while at least, and it looks like it keeps going. And there hits a point when you're getting all of these entries on the forum that have been edited. Like it shows next to the post that whatever time it was done, that it was edited after the post. You see that after a certain point, all these edited posts, the username has changed to user does not exist. So no picture anymore. The username is just crossed out in just a straight line through it to show that that user isn't on the site anymore. And each one of those says the same thing. Each one says, the Sandman comes for the restless and weary. Each one is saying that. And you're just scrolling faster and faster and faster, and the messages just keep saying the Sandman comes for the restless and weary. Just
Do they all look the same?
that is the same number, the same message. All of the username is crossed out to show that they don't exist anymore. Shows as an edited message.
It crossed out, like how like when you put a line through something, you can
Yes.
still see the letters,
Yes.
or is this just blocked out?
It's essentially blocked out.
Okay, so like I could not read what was underneath the line.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
They do that to give like some anonymity to old users.
Oh, they're dates.
Yes, the dates are all different. But like I said, like, and it keeps going further and further back the further down the forums you go. But it's that same thing of blocked out username, date, time it was posted, whatever time that was.
Well, what are the dates like?
It goes back a few years.
Oh, so not current.
No, no, all the
Okay.
current stuff were the people above that were talking about this stuff. This,
Right,
I
right.
would say, starts maybe 2 years prior. Like these edited things. Before, at one point, it just seemed like it was kind of interspersed between posts. Like it was like, oh, here's one, keep going down. Oh, here's another, like 75 posts later, like going down, and then it just started increasing more and more and more until you get to this point where they're all edited to look like this.
Right. So I sort of like kind of like shake my head a little bit. I'm like, wow, that is like super, super creepy. I don't know what that message is about, but I don't like it.
I want you to do something for me. Can you, I know you don't have it, can you roll me Cthulhu Mythos?
The percentages are zero. So
Yeah.
like,
No, I know. I want to see.
no, it's like 34. That's not even
Yeah.
in the realm.
Nope, that's fine. Yeah, no. A lot of the time I just want to like kind of see where you are at with that. That 34, where's that on your intelligence?
Int, yeah, it is below my int, but not a lot.
Okay. You kind of like I stated, you kind of started drawing these conclusions that these users, maybe these people were just kind of fucking with everyone on the server who posted after them. Maybe there's like one person down at the beginning who started this and then was like, guys, we're gonna mass quit and then we'll do it.
Right, so people just trying to make buzz for their site or whatever.
Yeah.
Like let's just do this and
But you keep going down. And eventually you do get to a point where there's regular people talking in the forums again, And
okay, is there a date?
this is back like 5 years ago now. There's like a huge block and now it's kind of like dispersing again.
Okay. Is there a name associated with the first post that's not the Sandman comes for the restless and weary? Like when it opens back up to other.
It is just a random person and it looks like they were in the middle of a conversation with someone else.
Okay. But there's like no account name.
That's funny you should ask that because the account names are still blocked out.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And with your intelligence score, you kind of get the feeling that what this means is that this possibly could have been a user above, you know? But the only reason why you kind of make that conclusion is because a lot of the times if like a user changes their username, it changes on everything that they've posted in the past and present, just to keep that solidarity of your and cataloging of your posts. And in these older threads, you see like a few people talking about the every now and again they'll bring up the man in yellow, and they'll bring up the war dogs that he comes with, his dogs of destruction. Which, do you remember what the dogs looked like? Because these people are going into detail about what the dogs look like.
Well, I mean, dogs was a very loose term. They sort of acted like dogs, but they weren't dogs. Like we knew at the time that they were not dogs. Just because they crawled on four legs and so were chained, on a leash or something. That's a very loose definition of dog.
And someone actually that far back kind of agrees with that statement too. And you see them describing exactly what they saw when they saw these hounds.
Also, there's somebody else that actually claims to physically have seen this.
Yes. It's another one of these like blocked out names, no profile picture anymore.
So there's no information that I can glean from that other than what's in the text of the actual post.
Yes.
It's no locations like, hey, this guy is from St. Louis or
No,
this person.
they don't give
Queen.
it doesn't give locations on the forum, just time and date, So this is going back a few years now. Like I said, it was like 5 or so years ago when this this chat was happening in the forums. And they go into detail about the hounds that they saw with the man in yellow. And they say they go on to describe like bubbling pustules that they saw like on them, how it seemed like acid or something was just dripping from their maw, and the fact that like it looked like they were on a leash that was going to the hand of the man in yellow. And he says, like, I guess to like a passerby, if you're not really paying attention, it does just kind of look like a man just out walking his dogs, but nothing feels right looking at them. And when you click on, sometimes on forums, they have like a little drop down menu on comments to see what else this user has posted.
Right.
And you follow that link because this is the first time someone actually like gave like a detailed description, and it brings you to they've posted a few more times in that thread, in that forum thread, but the last time they posted was like 2.5 years ago. And so you go to that spot in the thread, and there they have the Sandman comes to the restless and weary.
All right. That is good to know. All right. So I kind of say to myself, I was like, boy, this guy, it almost seems like this guy knew too much and this Sandman came for him. Either that or he just, I don't know. Somehow he drew them upon him or something. I don't know. But I remember he pointed at, I could barely remember his name, Remy Renard, I think his name was. I remember he pointed at him and said something, I don't know, something crazy. I couldn't even understand it and sort of pointed at him and left. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's going after that guy.
I mean, from a narrative perspective, you were screaming, so.
Yeah, we were completely horrified, but I remember he said something directly to that Renard guy that was there. I guess I don't know. He was helping the doctor. I think he was an EMT.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I was like, I'm trying to remember, I'm having vague memories of it, of him specifically.
So you're sitting there and you glance at the clock and you see that it's almost 6 o'clock at night. You've spent hours upon hours just sitting here scrolling through this forum, and you realize you haven't eaten yet. So what do you do for dinner? Do you go out? Do you make dinner? What's
it, Saturday night? We said it was like a Tuesday. I don't know. I'm actually craving some Thai food. Maybe I'll go out and get some Thai food. I'll pick it up and bring it home. Because I know that I'm not comfortable yet with dining indoors.
Yeah. So there's like a place nearby that you walk to, or?
Sure. Yeah. There's a place maybe a couple blocks away. Let's say.
Nice. All right. So now you make your way over there. You're ordering. It's nice. You've got that chill that went up your spine earlier when you were talking to your therapist. Never kind of really went away, but you didn't see anything out of the corners of your eyes since then. And you're just kind of standing there as you're waiting for your food, just thinking about all the stuff you saw online. And your phone buzzes, and it's a text from your therapist. And they've sent you the email address and office phone number for Dr. Danielle Warber, in case you wanted to get in touch with her.
Oh, very nice. You know what? While I'm waiting, I will actually type an email.
All right. What do you send to her?
I'm just gonna say hi. I hope this isn't too creepy. I'm not stalking you or nothing, but this is Hank Ricci. I just wanted to reach out to you and see how you were doing. That was a crazy night a few months back, and things have been a little restless for me. I was just wanted to see how you were doing, and almost sort of one long run-on sentence, because I don't, I was like I said, I'm trying not to sound completely creepy. That, hey, guess what I did? I just got your email address, and I'm going to send you, emails from somebody that, whatever,
Yeah.
These days that would almost be considered bad stalking, but it's more out of concern. I mean, my doctor's the one that gave me the address. He's really the one that's breaching the the safety protocols. But yeah, but no, like I said, it's more just to see, I hope she's okay, and I hope she's getting on, and I know that was crazy. I tell her that I'm actually with professional help as we speak. At this time still. And yeah, I was sort of just concerned to make sure that she was okay.
Okay. You send the message, and how do you feel after sending that message? Is it like a comforting thought to you, or is it?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we were part of something that was completely nuts, and I don't know. I said maybe it just would do good to hear from somebody from that group of people, and I figured she would be the easiest one to find. Because I was like, I know the other guy. I don't know where he's working all over the city. I'm sure he's never in one place for too long. And the other girl, she's on a construction site, but I don't know the name of her construction company, so I wouldn't even know how to reach out to her.
Yeah.
She had it rough too. She was knocked out by that thing.
Yeah, that is very true.
All I do is I just remember screaming a lot. So that's basically sort of the gist of the email. Like I said, of course, the first paragraph is me trying to not come off as a creepazoid who, stalked her and tried to find out her information just because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
I'll even finish at the end. I'll close like, listen, I understand if you don't want to email back. I would completely understand. But like I said, it's just sort of more of a concern. And I guess I kind of, cheated a little bit on figuring out how to reach you. But, like, I hope you're okay. And I understand completely if you choose not to want to relive any of that horror by, emailing me back. I would understand completely. And that's sort of how, like, I finished the email.
All right. And it is finished and is sent. A few moments after you finish, your food is ready.
The chicken and shrimp dumplings with the crispy pork belly and Chinese broccoli with rice. Yum-y.
That sounds delicious. Can you roll me combined spot hidden and listen? So what that means is you're gonna do one roll.
Gotcha. Come on, low. It's not. It's under both, but it's not insanely under. I rolled a 47. My listen is 52. My spot hidden is 50.
Nice.
It's a basic success.
Hey, basic success is a success, So let's see how this goes. So
As long as I don't drop my food, I'm all right.
gotta protect food. Gotta protect
I
food.
gotta save the food.
So you're walking back from the Thai place, and it's only a few blocks away from where you live, but it's still considered winter at this time. It's late January. Street lights are lit, and because it's dark out, there's not really anyone really on the street. You haven't seen a car drive by in a while.
Yeah, that is a little weird, because it's not like it's like 10 o'clock at night. It's like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So like still people will be getting home from work, or going out to get food, or grocery shopping before they got home from work and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why it's also like eerily quiet.
It seems a little quiet, but whatever. People ain't out right now.
So while you're walking, out of the corner of your eye, you feel like you see movement again, which kind of similar to what happened earlier. But again, like you've been walking down the street, it hasn't looked like there was anyone out at all. In fact, you see kind of like some street lights flickering like a block or two down, and that's as much as you kind of like see of like activity,
So like wherever I think I see something moving, like again, you do like that quick head turn, like like, oh, what's over there or something, maybe like a dog ran by or something, or
every time you kind of like jerk your head, it feels like whatever was moving at the corner of your field of vision keeps moving to stay in the corner of your field of vision. Like every time you turn your head, you still see like something is moving there.
Okay. Can I determine like where I think it might be?
From where you're walking, it feels like they are within like maybe like 10 feet to the sides of you, maybe 15. It's like at first it feels like, oh, it's just on the right, because you kind of look out of the corner of your eye and you're kind of seeing something over there, and it's just because you noticed on the right. But then like you kind of like strain to like look to the left, and you also see it there too.
Okay.
And every time you just kind of move your head, it kind of stays at like the back corner of your vision.
All right. I guess I have one other thing I could try. I'm going to take out my phone. I'm going to open up the camera. I'm going to face it to like selfie view, and I'm going to hold it over my head and pan it left and right. And then I'll sort of stop it, and then I'll watch it to see if I see anything moving on the camera. Or is that way out of my realm of like, would I not think to do something like that?
Nope. Hey, you know what? No, you actually did the smartest thing that any person would do, and things that people don't do when they see like demons and like cryptids. They don't use their actual good cameras. So I want you to roll me a D percentile for your cell phone. Right now, you're just looking not to get 100.
Right? Yeah. No. 20. Was that a 5? 23.
All right, you're fine. So roll a D6 for me.
2.
All right, so the number you have to beat now is 98. So you take this video, you're turning the flash on, and the way that it does that when you're making a video with the flash on the front-facing camera, it just turns the whole screen white. So you can't see anything as you're kind of taking this selfie video yourself. But then, like, you're standing there and you kind of, like, play the video back. You start walking forward as you're playing it back, and you're watching and you're looking, and it's like the first time it happens, you don't really see anything, and then you play it again and you're like, guess that's something, kind of making out like the shape of like what could have been like a garbage can in an alley, you know, like or there was like a lamp post that was like broken, or a fire hydrant, you know, not like there were just things in your field of vision in the camera that stopped. And then as like more things come to your attention, and do me a favor, roll spot hidden again while you're watching this video.
Oh, that's really good. 004.
Ooh, okay, good. So, damn, Jeff, with the good rolls. So,
Well, you know, I don't have a lot of skills, but the skills I do have very, good percentages in.
Yep, well, that is a very hard success.
Can't get any better than that for the most part.
So, as you're looking through, and it's weird. You only just started realizing it, but like I said, you know how like you can see like a few blocks down with the street lights and everything, you know. It's dark out, but the lights are on, so you can kind of see everything. The same way behind you, you know, it's if you turned around, you could see a few blocks down and then some because of all the lights. Well, every time you replay the video, it looks like there's less and less lights behind you. As you, like, in the video, you're scanning behind you. And every single time there's less and less lights as it keeps playing, you notice that the shapes that kind of just seemed, like, out of focus, or if it was, like I said, a garbage can, a fire hydrant, whatever, something on someone's stoop, those shapes kind of get closer and closer.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of pick up my pace a little bit.
Which is a good idea, because you pick up your pace and it plays one more time, and you see not just like one, but definitely like almost a dozen of those shadows that you saw in the hospital that night. The shadows that were after you guys, that were forcing you into that maze.
So at this point, I'm going to run home the rest of the way because now I'm spooked. You know, something like, oh my God, like those are the things, they're coming back for me. I was like, I don't like this, I'm going home.
Yeah, I mean, you're close enough home that I don't really need a check.
Yeah, I'm running like a block and a half, whatever it is, so yeah.
Yeah, so you make it home, you know, panting, out of breath, locking all the doors, Thai food safely secured.
Yes, don't want to lose dinner.
And you remember you left the window open in the living room.
Or do I think I remember I left it open? Like, that's how I interpret it.
That's a good question. Roll luck.
I got a good luck score, so... Oh, wow. That's a 10 and a 8, so 18.
All right. Yeah, you had left it open before.
So it's not like, wait a minute, did I leave that open, or was it not open and now it is open?
You had a quick second where you were unsure of it, as you felt the cool evening air kind of blowing in through the open window.
Right. All right, so I'm going to go over to said window and close it.
As you close the window, you look out onto the street below, and across the street in an alleyway, you actually do see the strange outline of one of those shadows.
Okay. Is it like does it like was it like the height and the breadth of the man in yellow, or is it just like one of the shadows that we saw spinning around us?
Just one of those shadows that you saw.
All right. So at this point, I'm going to put my food on the table, lock everything up, pretty much go around my apartment and lock everything up, and I'm going to email Dr. Warber again.
All right. What do you say this time?
This time I'm going to say, I really hate to bother you again. And again, I hope I'm not being too creepy, but I don't know. I'm seeing things that I don't want to see. I hope this is not happening to you. I know I said before that I would understand if you didn't get back to me, but yeah, I think you might need to get back to me, you know, or at least to acknowledge that you have received my emails. But yeah, it's very creepy tonight. I'm a little scared, and yeah. I just wanted to know if anybody else was having these same visions that I'm having, or if it's just me, or what. I have no idea, but I am spooked beyond all belief right now. It's like I saw those shadows, and then I won't even close the email with anything. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to send it.
I think she'll understand who it's from with that.
Well, it would have it would have the same email address as the previous one where I introduced who I was in the email. So.
And what, you sent that around like 7 o'clock?
It was probably maybe 20 minutes before I sent this one, maybe 15 minutes.
You know,
I was waiting for food, and then I got the food, and then I was walking home. So 3 blocks is not that far.
yeah, you know,
They
think
probably
that.
relatively close together. The emails were sent.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think that, and then you know you're closing your phone and you happen to glance at the time as it's closing, and you have to do like a double take, and it says 11 o'clock at night while you're typing this.
Okay, so now I know something's crazy. I said, where'd all this time go? It couldn't have taken me that long to go get food. Yeah, this is not good. I'm not happy about this. Oh boy,
Do you eat the Thai food?
I do.
It's cold.
I heat it up, but I'm not going to throw it in the microwave because I hate microwave food. I'm just going to throw it in a pan, literally warm it up in a pan, because
Nice.
there's nothing worse than microwaved food.
Yeah, especially for some reason, like Chinese, Japanese, Thai leftovers don't not the same. Not the same.
No, not at all. I don't like it. Like the only thing the only thing I would have in a microwave is something that's specifically made for a microwave, and I don't really get much of that. So yeah. So with this pandemic and stuff, it's just easy to walk in place. They pass it through the plastic covering on the door, and I slide them the money, and I go home and eat.
Yeah. All right. So Thai food consumed, email sent, questions about time and its ever evolving mysteries in head.
I checked the clocks in the house. Is it the same?
Yep. Nope. They're all reading really late at night. Now, by the time you finish making food, finish reheating your food in the pan and eating it. Now, whether you pack it away or not, it's like 11:45 ish.
I'm gonna eat like half of it and save half of it because it's late. Yeah, that's fair. I say, all right, yeah, this is not good. I lost like 4 hours of time. So like now I'm sort of like freaking out a little bit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I know weird stuff has been happening. So like, like after a while you get like, I mean, I don't want to say desensitized, but it's sort of like I almost start expecting weird stuff to happen. I guess mentally, whether you know it or not, you deal with it slightly better each time.
Yes. Yeah, that's usually how it happens.
Like eventually we're going to be saying, oh, this again? I'm kind of freaking out while I'm eating. I'm like looking around. I'm like
when you came back, you turned on all the lights in your apartment and everything. You just kind of like, you were like, I'm just gonna make sure nothing's going on while I'm in here. And nothing was wrong. Like
right.
you did a sweep, everything, you checked outside the window again. You didn't see anything. Everything kind of seemed okay,
All right. I'm going to check on my phone just in case. I'm going to start the stopwatch feature.
Okay.
Does the time move faster than it should?
No.
Okay. All right. I said, well, that was the fastest Tuesday I've ever had. I'm at some point I'm going to take some Tylenol PMs and I'm going to eventually go to sleep. Hopefully. Yeah. I'm locking up everything. Like I know that I'm going to keep the baseball bat next to my bed.
That's a good idea. And you take the Tylenol PM, you get into bed, baseball bat next to you, and just for giggles, why not try this meditation thing you did? Sometimes it's enough just to like play something on your phone a bit.
Right. And before I go to sleep, I will also charge my phone for a while, get it back up to full. I mean, not that it was down much, but if I leave it playing through the course of the night, it might. So.
Yeah, so it charges right next to your bed, and it's set on just like a looping, like maybe 5-10 minute track of just this white noise, just sounds of nature,
ocean waves, something like that.
Ocean waves, there you go. Just gently rock you to sleep, and you're laying there, and it's actually working. It's very calming. You feel like this is already better than the rest of the time you've kind of like fallen asleep. It's like
I'm going to try to like ease my mind a little bit before I fall asleep. I was like, all right, whatever. I've seen them. Like I start thinking to myself, oh, they can't get me here. I'm in the safety of my own home. And like, like sort of just rationalizing it to myself in a way to where I'll feel okay to go to sleep.
It's the same kind of talk like an adult would give to a child, like there's no monsters under your bed, it's like there's no like as an adult you're just rationalizing the fear and everything, and the stress.
I'm sort of going along with like the meditative state, as
just breathing in
as a super beginner to any kind of meditation. Yeah. Like I suppose you just sort of calming my breathing, calming my brain, and then just hopefully the Tylenol PMs kick in and knock me out
before it loops the first time, or actually for the second time I would say. you're knocked out. And what wakes you up is the fact that not only do you feel a draft, but your bed doesn't feel as soft anymore. And the more you kind of think about it, it's like you're kind of like trying to like piece it together in your head. It's kind of feeling a little like damp too. You know, you feel like damp, that gentle breeze or whatever, that draft, it carries this dampness with it. And, you know, you kind of like stir awake and your eyes are kind of adjusting to whatever's going on, like to the room you're in the middle of the night, you know, expecting to see your bedroom, and you're not. You get the feeling that you're in this dark, you get the feeling that you're in a dark underground big room because of the fact that you can barely see in front of you. And what also stirs you to like awake faster is a piercing screech that kind of like just rings throughout your ears and kind of shakes the room you're in. And as you kind of stand up and look around,
I kind of jump up because I don't really like loud noises like that. So, what is that? What was that? I reach for the bat. Is the bat there?
Yes, you have the bat next to you.
So I'm sort of like holding it like this and like looking around.
Two things are next to you. You have your baseball bat and your phone. That is it.
Okay.
But as you're looking around, you see crouching on the floor in front of you is the shape of someone. And on the floor, like next to you or whatever, are 3 more shapes laying down. And I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight. But until we meet next, just remember, the Sandman comes for the restless.